All right, today we are going to do a recap. So we did worksheet 3 in a prior time, and we worked through everything, and we are talking about the distance formula today. So I'm asking you to reference these notes that say the distance formula, and if you have a note card or a half sheet of paper, we are going to make a note card to help us. So on your note card, make sure your name is on it. Let's go ahead and title it Distance Formula. And this is something you're going to keep in the front of a folder that you can keep referencing. I do not require in here that you memorize this formula. So you'll want to have, the note card to help you reference it. So we've got our distance formula. I want to remind you that we have 2 points. And when we go to do the distance formula, and we have those ordered pairs as x1, y1, and x2, y2. So that's the first thing, is we always have the 2 ordered pairs just like they have here. And then let's go ahead and fill out the distance formula. I'm going to make it nice and big for mine. So I'm going to fill the whole thing in. It's going to be, I'm just copying it from here, x2 minus x1, don't forget the power, plus y2 minus y1. So you guys can be just pulling it right off of your note sheet or copying it from the board. y2 minus y1, and again, square it. Now that's really all you need as a reference, but I thought it would be helpful if we wrote down our template to remind you, and I think a lot of you agreed yesterday the template was helpful. So once we know the things that we put in, the template for the distance formula I think is helpful, and that's where we put all of the parentheses, symbols in, and powers, and we know that we're going to write this down and then come back and fill in the variables. So I'll give you a second to catch up. One of the things that might help some of us, because you want to pair the x's up, would be to actually pair up your x's and pair up your y's. For some people that helps. A lot of times I'll use my fingers to say, okay, I'm using these x's, I'm using these y's. We don't want to mix them up. So we have the formula. We have a template that we're going to drop the right numbers in here. And then I just want to remind you that we type all of this into the calculator and we leave the square root sign here, and then you finish the problem. And I'm going to put an approximately equal to here because we're rounding it. So the quick idea is that all of this stuff is going to go into your calculator, and you're going to get one nice number that goes under there. So this is just a reminder to make it easier for you. When you go to do your worksheet, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to show to get credit for it and get credit or partial credit on a test or quiz. All right, so we got our 2 points. We got the formula correct. We've got a template. We're remembering that we put everything under, including parentheses, down here, and then we take the square root. Now, if this does not help you and you look at it a little bit differently, that's fine. So you don't have to use my note card. You can sort of edit it to what helps you. But I want everyone to have a note card. So when I come around and you're like, I don't know what to put here, we're going to reference your note card so you know how to use it if you're not sure. Okay, note card's good. Can I move mine? All right, I'll put it back up in case you need it at the end. Now, we did this yesterday, so this is what I would remind you of. Any problems when you're given it, this is what I need to see today, anytime we're working on this. I want to see what you put in the formula. So that you can't just put the answer down. You're going to show the formula filled in, then what goes underneath the square root sign, and then your answer. So that's really exactly right here. Template, what's underneath the square root sign, final answer. So we're looking for those 3 things. For a lot of us, it helps us if we name our points. Okay. So we finished up all those notes yesterday. We went over this problem. And so what I want to do right now is I want to talk about the worksheet 5. So please stay with me. I'm going to go specifically over each problem. I'm not doing every problem, but I want to make sure we know how to do them. So looking at these directions. So worksheet 5 in your packet, I got my note card off to the side here. It says, how far from the origin is the point -815? Okay, they only gave me 1 point. They did ask how far away. So I do need to find the length or the distance, right? So I know I'm going to use my distance formula. But what's the origin? 0, 0. So if you think about it, remember when you have your XY graph, XY, that is the origin, isn't it? So when they're talking about the origin, they're talking about the point 0, 0. So label that for me. That's the point we're going to use. And then where are we going? Negative 8, 15. Okay, this is not an accurate graph, but it'd be like over here, negative 8, way up here, 15. So if you wanted a visual, let me move my hand. There's your visual. We want the distance from this point to the point given. Okay, so idea, this is x1, y1. This is x2, y2. Now, I'm not doing all this with you, but I'd be looking at my note card and taking my template off of it. So this would be, I'm going to fill in the distance formula. And this is why I think the template is helpful. I've got my template written down. And using my template, I can go back up and fill in the appropriate x's and y's in here. All right, so you're going to do that. You're going to get what goes underneath the square root sign, and then you're going to give me the approximate answer. It doesn't specify, so let's round to the nearest tenth. So 1 decimal place. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So please don't finish that problem. Stick with me. I'm just going to sort of go through and prep each question with you. All right, I think the next one's pretty self-explanatory. Find the length. If they want me to find the length, I'm really finding the what? How long it is. So I'm going to use my distance formula. And they gave me 2 ordered pairs. I have a segment CD, C to D, and these are the ordered pairs. So here is the point x1, y1, and here's the point x2, y2. So I'm going to have the same setup I have in number 1. Got it? All right, now let's talk about number 3. It causes all kinds of problems, so follow these directions. Can I slide this up? All right, there are 2 questions here. So first, segment DE is equal to segment FG. I want you to write yes, no beside it, and whatever you decide after you get proof, you're going to circle it. So it's either yes or no, so you have to answer both of these. Well, in order to tell me if something's equal to or longer than, don't I need to know the distance? So look at your graph. We need to find the distance of DE. So we're going to put in our distance formula, right? How many times do I have to do the distance formula here? 3 times. I got to find the length of DE. I need to find the length of FG. And I need to find the length of RS. Now, I can't just look at this and find the length because I can't count the units. In order to find the length, don't I need the ordered pairs? So one of the issues I had was a kid had everything written down right mathematically, but they had the wrong ordered pair. So do me a favor, DE, what is point D? -4, 0, right? And what's point E? 0, -2. So I think it might be worth you putting your points in and maybe checking with the neighbor, do we have the right points before you even start? Because the poor kid had the wrong point there, and then it was all wrong and he had to erase it all. All right, so please make sure you write down what the ordered pairs are and then plug them in. So that's your reminder on here. Okay, stick with me. Again, I'm trying to prep everything so you don't get just stuck and you're like, I don't know what to do and I can't get to you right away. Number 4 should look really familiar. We have a 0.54 that lies on a circle. What is the length of the radius? So we want to find the distance or the length of the radius of the circle, and we have its center. So if you want a quick visual, here is my circle. My center point is located at 3, 2. And the point on the circle is 5, 4. It doesn't matter that these points aren't right for a coordinate grid. It just matters that I have a visual. So this is like my x1, y1, and this is like my x2, y2. And again, I want to find the distance because the radius goes from the center to the edge of the circle. What if they asked for the diameter? Do you remember the relationship between the radius and the diameter? Well, the radius goes from the center to the edge. The diameter goes from edge through the center to the other edge. So the diameter is double the radius. Okay? I think the last one's pretty straightforward, right? Find the distance between these 2 points. I think it's helpful. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. And then you're going to use your, again, template. And template out, fill in the appropriate things, simplify it. When you're done, I'm going to come around as you guys are working and I'll check off if you got them right. We'll look at it if you got it wrong. Okay? So make sure that is all you're working on right now is worksheet 5. We want to get this done in class. If it's not finished in class, you will work on it for homework.